Welcome back to our community. As we cross the milestone of 60, life doesn't slow down, it simply changes shape. This video is a gentle, expert guide dedicated to helping you cultivate a deeply rooted, positive mindset during this beautiful season of life. We explore 5 practical, heartwarming shifts you can make today to reclaim your joy, rediscover your purpose, and find peace in the everyday. Through relatable stories and simple, science-backed wisdom, you'll learn how to reframe aging, nurture your connections, and embrace the freedom that comes with this chapter. If you find comfort and inspiration in today's message, please consider subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and sharing it with someone you care about. Let's journey together toward a brighter, more fulfilling tomorrow. Have you ever looked in the mirror or glanced at a recent photograph and wondered, when did the chapters start turning so quickly? Perhaps you felt a quiet, nagging sense that your most vibrant days are behind you, or maybe the sudden quiet of an empty nest or retirement has left you feeling a little unmoored. If you have ever felt this way, I want you to take a deep, gentle breath and listen closely. Your story is nowhere near finished. In fact, this might just be the chapter where you finally get to write exactly what you want. Today, we're going to talk about how to cultivate a deeply rooted, resilient, and positive mindset after 60. Not a superficial, forced optimism, but genuine, hard-earned joy that grounds you and lights up your days. Reframe your inner narrative. The first step in cultivating a positive mindset begins with the words we whisper to ourselves when nobody else is listening. So often, society tells us that aging is a series of losses, a loss of youth, a loss of speed, a loss of productivity. But a positive mindset flips that script. Aging is not a process of decline. It is a process of culmination. You are accumulating wisdom, grace, and a deep understanding of what truly matters. Consider my friend Margaret. When Margaret turned 62, she retired from a high-pressure corporate job. For the first few months, she felt completely lost. Every morning, her inner voice told her, "Your best years are over. You aren't needed anymore." She felt her world shrinking. But one morning, Margaret decided to change the narrative. Instead of viewing retirement as the end of her productivity, she chose to see it as the beginning of her creative freedom. She started telling herself, "I finally have the time to explore who I am outside of a job title." She picked up watercolor painting, something she hadn't done since she was a teenager. Today, her home is filled with color, and she laughs more than she ever did in the boardroom. Like Margaret, we must actively choose to view this stage not as a sunset, but as a brand new dawn. Cultivate the art of intentional gratitude. We have all heard about gratitude, but after 60, gratitude becomes less a polite habit and more of a vital mental medicine. It is very easy to fall into the trap of noticing what aches, what has changed, or who is no longer with us. Intentional gratitude is the practice of consciously turning our focus toward the abundance that still exists right in front of us. Let me tell you about Arthur. Arthur lost his beloved wife of 40 years when he was 65. The grief was heavy, and for a long time, his mindset was clouded by sadness. He found himself focusing entirely on the empty chair in his living room. One day, his daughter gave him a small leather-bound notebook. She asked him to write down just 3 things each day that brought him a moment of peace. At first, it was hard. He wrote down things like the taste of hot coffee, the sound of rain, or the neighbor's cat sitting on the porch. Over months, a beautiful shift happened. Arthur's brain began actively scanning his environment for good things throughout the day, just so he could write them down at night. The grief didn't magically vanish, but his world expanded enough to let the light back in. Gratitude gave Arthur's life back, and can do the same for you. Prune and nurture your social garden. As we mature, we realize that our time and energy are incredibly precious commodities. A massive part of maintaining a positive mindset involves looking closely at the people we surround ourselves with. This is a time to prune away relationships that drain you, bring constant drama, or leave you feeling less than, and instead, intentionally nurture connections that feed your soul. Think about a woman named Eleanor. Eleanor had a lifelong friend from her youth who was perpetually negative. Every phone call was a laundry list of complaints about the world, the younger generation, and various ailments. After every conversation, Eleanor felt physically and emotionally exhausted. At age 64, Eleanor made a gentle, conscious decision to step back. She didn't cause a scene. She simply stopped scheduling long lunches and politely kept calls brief. Instead, she joined a local walking club and met a group of vibrant, warm-hearted women who loved talking about books, travel, and gardening. Eleanor realized that protecting her peace wasn't selfish. It was necessary. Surround yourself with people who lift your spirits and remind you of the beauty in the world. Embrace the power of lifelong curiosity. A positive mindset thrives on growth. The moment we decide we know everything or that we are too old to learn something new, our world begins to harden. Keeping your mind flexible, curious, and open is one of the greatest secrets to staying young at heart. Curiosity turns everyday life into an adventure. Take the example of Robert, a retired engineer who turned 67 and realized he knew absolutely nothing about cooking. His entire life, his partner had handled the meals. When he found himself living alone, he could have easily relied on frozen dinners and felt sorry for himself. Instead, Robert chose curiosity. He signed up for a beginner's Italian cooking class at a local community center. He was the oldest person in the room, and at first, he felt incredibly self-conscious. He chopped vegetables awkwardly and burned his first batch of garlic, but he kept showing up with an open mind. Today, Robert hosts small dinner parties for his neighbors, proud of his homemade marinara sauce. Staying curious keeps your brain active, introduces you to new communities, and reminds you that you are still entirely capable of growth. Practice radical self-compassion. Finally, cultivating a positive mindset means being incredibly kind to yourself. Your body may not bounce back as quickly as it used to. Your memory might occasionally misplace a keys or a name. There may be days when your energy levels are low, and the goals you set for the day simply don't get met. A negative mindset uses these moments to judge and criticize. A positive mindset treats them with radical self-compassion. Imagine a man named Thomas. Thomas was an avid runner for most of his life. When he hit 63, a nagging knee injury meant he could no longer run long distances. Initially, Thomas was devastated. He felt angry at his body and frustrated by his limitations. But Thomas practiced self-compassion. He sat quietly with his frustration, accepted it, and then asked himself, what can my body still do beautifully? He started taking long, brisk walks through nature parks instead. He realized that walking actually allowed him to see the birds, notice the changing leaves, and breathe more deeply than he ever did while sprinting past. When you treat yourself with the same tenderness you would offer a dear friend, your entire perspective changes. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Which of these areas speaks to your heart the most right now? Is it time to change your inner narrative, or perhaps prune your social garden? I would truly love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below sharing one small way you plan to nurture your positive mindset this week. If this message brought a sense of warmth or encouragement to your day, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and share with a friend who might need a gentle reminder of their own strength. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me. Take gentle care of yourself, and remember, the best chapters of your life are still being written.